First stage, I preheated the oven to 200 degrees for the bake. I'm going to chop up the chicken because we're going to cook that first in oil into a pan. I'm going to add oil to the pan, season it with some salt, and I'm going to go on for cooking the chicken on the hob. Whilst your chicken is cooking, cut up your pepper and your onion finely. So you want your chicken only just cooked through, because we're going to be putting it in with the pasta bake into the oven, so it will cook a little bit more. Just going to get a spoon and take the chicken out and just put it on a plate on the side. And we're just going to retain the juices and build our sauce up from that. So take all your chicken out and put it on a plate on the side. There we go. So once you've got that, add a touch more oil to the pan and add in your onion and pepper to fry off and soften down for a few minutes. And while this is softening, I'm going to add the half teaspoon of chilli flakes and also a full teaspoon, so that'll be 2 half teaspoons of your oregano. After you've been softening your onion and pepper for a while, I've peeled the garlic cloves and I'm just going to grate them in. If you don't want to grate them or you don't have a fine grater, you can easily just finely chop them and then add them in. And we're just going to cook that off for another few minutes as well. I'm grating everything in now, I just find it so easy. Then going to want you to get your tinned tomatoes and squeeze each tomato like that into the dish and discard the white stringy bit. So do that with the whole tin. You'll have 2 tins unless you can also find these big massive ones, but it's just the same as 2 tins of plum tomatoes. Once you've added the tomatoes in, you can give it a wee stir. To that, I've dissolved the half vegetable stock pot. You can use chicken if you want. And 200 ml of water, and I'm adding that in as well. I'm going to crank the heat up and put the lid on this and simmer it until it reduces down and thickens slightly. So lid on, come check it. I would stir throughout, just keep an eye on it, and we'll come back in 10-15 minutes, give it a stir and see how it's doing. So here we are after 15 minutes, reducing well. So just as a rule of thumb, generally if it's 1 tin of plum tomatoes, I'd reduce for 15 minutes. Because this is 2, we'll probably reduce it for up to half an hour. So fine up to now. I'm going to put it back on, lid back on, and what we're going to do is make sure to keep stirring throughout because it will start sticking at the bottom if you don't start to agitate it. So this is after 25 minutes. I've turned the heat down a bit, but it's looking good. So turned it down from about 8 out of 9 when we were reducing quite fervently, down to about a 5 now, so we're on a medium heat. And I'm just going to add in the mascarpone. So I've said 125 grams because that's half of this tub. You can weigh it if necessary if you don't have this exact one. Once you've stirred the mascarpone in, I'm going to add in the chicken again. And just get all the juices. And then stir that through. And I cook my pasta in salted water until al dente. Add that in, and then we're just going to mix it through. And I tasted it there. Alexa, stop timer. I tasted it there, and we just want to check for seasoning. If you want to add a little bit more salt and pepper once you've added the pasta in, you can. I'm quite happy with that. So we're going to put this in a casserole dish and top with the grated mozzarella now. And then we're just going to put this in the oven that is preheated to 200 until the cheese is bubbly and crispy on top. And that's your pasta bake after it being in the oven for 10 minutes, which is enough for me. If you want to crisp it up, you can leave it in longer or even just put it under the grill for a little bit. Enjoy!